fight fans? So an insanely entertaining fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis did his thing. My prediction was that Ryan Garcia would be able to use his height, to use his reach advantage against Tank, as he's done that in the past. However, in this fight, he did not do that. He was being incredibly aggressive, pushing forward, moving himself towards Tank. There were moments where he would intelligently understand what Tank was trying to do, some of the traps that Tank was setting, but he was wild in there and he didn't seem disciplined in any way, shape, or form. Tank, however, looked very, very disciplined. So the Ryan Garcia that I was thinking was going to show up based off of his previous fights, like the fight with Luke Campbell, did not show up in this fight. Maybe this moment was just a little bit too big for Ryan Garcia. But kudos to Tank, because he proved he's a beast in there and he has such a cerebral brain. It's hard to be able to overcome Tank. Even other fighters that are going to be really good, the step-ups, stuff like Devin Haney and even Lomachenko, those guys, they're gonna have to come in there with their super cerebral brain, their super tactical mind, because Tank is constantly building a fight inside of his brain, or building the moment inside of his brain, so he could understand what you're doing. He is very, very good at adapting to whatever's in front of him. So kudos to Tank. Tank gets the win. Absolutely no excuses. He did his thing. I do want to talk about the judging though. The judging was a little bizarre. Now, at first, when mentioned, while I was watching it live, when they mentioned, hey, look, Dave Moretti scored round 2 10-10. And the other two judges, I think it was Steve Weisfeld and who was the third one? It was Dave Moretti, Steve Weisfeld, and Tim Cheatham. So Steve Weisfeld, Tim Cheatham scored the second round 10-9. And then Dave Moretti scored the second round 10-10. Now, when I first heard that, I was floored, as rarely, although we've seen it. For example, when Manny Pacquiao fought Juan Manuel Marquez, that first round, instead of being scored a 10-6, because Manny dropped Marquez 3 times in that first round, one of the judges scored it a 10-7. And then that ended up making the fight a draw, which that was a critical scoring error. This one wasn't critical in the sense that Tank still got the win. But I found that to be incredibly bizarre. Not only did two judges feel that it was a 10-9 round, one judge felt it was a tied round. Now, granted, the entire round was just an onslaught, albeit an undisciplined onslaught, but it was an onslaught by Ryan Garcia, as he was just pressing the attack, and throwing these wild super flash combinations that at some point, at a few points, it looked like it was a little bothersome for Tank, but Tank seemed to catch a rhythm, and that's how he caught him with that straight left that dropped him. But I'm thinking, oh, okay, so they're here to they might be trying to rob Tank, and it's a good thing that Tank got the knockout. But then after looking at the scorecards, the total scorecards, I don't get that vibe, because they gave, for example, Tim Cheatham gave Ryan Garcia the first round and the last round only. Every other round, he scored it a 10-9 in Tank's favor. So Tank was up on the cards for Tim Cheatham. And then even with Dave Moretti, who scored the second round 10-10, which is just mind-blowing, he scored the first round for Tank. Even though the first round looked like it was almost a consensus universally that Ryan won it, but he scored this first round for Tank. He scored he only scored the second as a tie and the third for Ryan. But other than that, he didn't score any other rounds for Ryan, and he was up. Tank was up 59-56 on the Dave Moretti's card, And then on Steve Weisfeld's card, he only scored the first round for Ryan Garcia, and every other round he scored it for Tank. So it doesn't look like they were going in for a robbery, unless they were planning to keep it as close as possible. And then going into the second half, they might have done some weirdness in there to maybe get the rematch or like get a draw or something like that. But based on the way it was scored, I don't know for sure if that's what they were doing. The commission, the Nevada State Athletic Commission said that it is to the discretion of the judge. The judge does not necessarily have to score 10-8. I completely understand that. But it's almost like guaranteed a 10-8. It's like borderline guaranteed. So to get 10-9 by two judges is so rare, because maybe one judge sees something weird and decides, okay, I'm going to do a 10-9. But two judges 10-9 and then one a 10-10, that is incredibly bizarre. Very, very bizarre, and raises a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions from that, but once again, I don't want to harp on that, because at the end of the day, Tank still won. Maybe they were pushing for a rematch, who knows, but Tank still won at the end of the day. So kudos to Tank. And of course, we're going to be live on Monday talking about the fight. The fight was awesome. I loved it. Ryan showed some grit in terms of being dropped the first time, almost akin to what happened with Luke Campbell. But when he got up, he didn't seem hurt. He seemed less hurt than what happened with Luke Campbell. That contradicts what a lot of people thought. Oh, if Tank lands that hook, he's not getting up. He looked less hurt than when Luke Campbell hit him with that. So just because you get hit with somebody who's not known to have power, it's not the same thing. Or it doesn't just level up like, oh, but Tank has power, therefore he's gonna get knocked out cold. It doesn't just level up like that. It tamed Ryan because he was going wild. He was going crazy. I think he wanted to take him out before he started to download all the data that he needed. But at the end of the day, Ryan fought a good fight. He was not disciplined enough, didn't use his distance, didn't use his range. He was more, to me, aggressive and more undisciplined than even Rolly Romero was, in terms of how Rolly Romero was controlling distance for the beginning of the fight, and then decided to go wild and come in and got caught. But for me, Ryan was like going wild in too many spurts. Like he didn't really have too much of a game plan to go in there, and he didn't really use his reach and height advantage, which doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, that's how he decided to do that fight. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the fight. I thought it was an amazing fight. Once again, all the respect in the world to Tank. Awesome fight by Tank. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think about the knockout. Oh, and the knockout. Beautiful, perfect liver shot, which also shows the versatility of Tank. I mean, this guy is knocking people out in every way possible. You want a left hook? I got you. You want a right hook? I got you. You want a counter hook? I got you. You want an uppercut? I got you. You want a straight left down the pipe? I got you. You want a body shot? I got you. He's knocking people out every possible way. Every possible way you can knock people out, he's knocking people out, which shows immense versatility on his part. And this is why he's so confident in his knockout. This is why he fights a fight where he's waiting to see what that one punch is going to be, because he just can get you out of there. He really can get you out of there. So kudos to Gervonta Tank Davis. Kudos to Ryan Garcia for trying, but the better man and the most skillful man. As I said, I always said that Tank had more skill than Ryan. I just felt that Ryan's anatomy and his attributes would allow him to win. Nah, he wasn't able to do it, nor did he even use his body in that way. So kudos to Tank. And of course, until the next one, guys, on Monday we'll be live, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. Peace out.